Yeah, you trying to get smart with me, huh?
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 movie kisses that made you cry.
Seal with the righteous kiss.
For this list, we'll be looking at the best cinematic smooches that make us weep like little kids. Look out for romantic spoilers below. If we missed any of your favourite teary kisses, let us know in the comments below. Number 20, a sweet musical kiss, The Sound of Music. When Maria first meets Captain Von Trapp at the beginning of The Sound of Music, they don't exactly start out on the right foot. She thinks he's too strict, and he thinks she's too cavalier.
Excuse me, sir, I don't know your signal.
You may call me Captain.
But as the film goes on, they slowly start to come to an understanding. Eventually, they finally confess their feelings, through song, of course.
I must have done something good.
The kiss comes at the end of the song Something Good. While their intimate moment was satisfying on its own, it's made better by the beautiful song about finally finding the person who loves you, no matter what may have come before. Pair that beautiful sentiment with the enduring chemistry of Julie Andrews and Christopher Plummer, and you've got yourself a cry fest. Number 19, Overcoming the Odds, Slumdog Millionaire. If there was ever a couple had to go through way too much to finally be together, this would be it. Jamal and Latika have the entire world against them.
I love you.
So what? It's too late, Jamal. Go.
However, their connection can't be so easily severed. Even when a group of men cut Latika's face for trying to meet Jamal, the two can't be kept apart. After enduring so much pain and heartbreak, the two finally come together at the train station. Jamal then leans in and kisses Latika's scar instead of her lips. Even though they also share a traditional peck, their first moment made us weep the most. Number 18, Lost Love, Castaway. There's not a ton of romance in Castaway, but the love that is there is the type that makes our hearts break. When Chuck crashes on a desert island at the beginning of the film, he leaves his girlfriend Kelly behind. Given that he spends 4 years stranded on the island without any indication he survived, it's understandable that his love interest chose to move on. But that doesn't make their reunion any less sweet. After Chuck is rescued, he goes to find Kelly. The two instantly share a passionate moment in the rain.
I love you too, Kelly. More than you'll ever know.
However, since Kelly has a husband and a kid, their romance has to end there. At least they shared one final kiss. Number 17, Ali and Noah reunite, The Notebook. Since it's one of the most famous scenes in one of the romantic genre's saddest films, it gets us misty-eyed every time. Noah and Ali once fell for each other hard.
I can be whatever you want. You just tell me what you want and I'll be that for you.
You're dumb.
I could be that.
However, their relationship became strained over the years. When they finally meet up again, their exchange feels strained and painfully cordial. After Ali asks Noah why he didn't write to her for years, the answer isn't what she expected.
I waited for you for 7 years. Now it's too late.
I wrote you 365 letters. I wrote you every day for a year.
You wrote me?
Yes!
The revelation that he sent her messages but they never reached her is enough to reignite their passion. Once their lips meet, we automatically feel the tears coming.
It wasn't over. It still isn't over.
We're glad that Noah and Ali never accepted that their romance was over. Number 16, The Truth Comes Out, Casablanca. When we first meet Rick at the beginning of Casablanca, he's cynical because he believes his lover, Ilsa, deserted him.
You are a very cynical person, Rick, if you forgive me for saying so.
I forgive you.
Thank you. Will you have a drink with me, please?
No.
Oh, I forgot you never drink with any... I'll have another, please. Yes, monsieur. You despise me, don't you?
Well, if I gave you any thought, I probably would.
And after she returns with a husband, the lead is instantly incensed. But that anger turns to heartbreak when the truth comes out. When Ilsa met Rick, she thought her husband had been killed while escaping a concentration camp.
The day you left Paris, if you knew what I went through, if you knew how much I loved you, how much I still love you.
Once she found out the man that she married was alive, she had to put aside her new feelings and resume her relationship. The truth is enough to break down the walls between them and bring them together for an iconic kiss. Their expression of love is as beautiful as it is heartbreaking.
But what about us?
We'll always have Paris.
Number 15, Poisoned Lips, Romeo and Juliet. Although most of us knew that Romeo and Juliet would end going in, Baz Luhrmann still got us to shed tears in this 1996 classic. After believing Juliet has died, Romeo drinks poison.
To engrossing death.
But his great love wakes up just before he drinks. It looks for a moment that Juliet might have woken up in time to save him. Unfortunately, she's too late. As Romeo starts to fade, Juliet quickly tries to take in some poison by kissing Romeo one last time. But it doesn't work.
Now kiss thy lips and place some poison yet doth hang on them.
Thanks to the flash of hope that the two would make it earlier in the scene, the kiss became absolutely unbearable. When this timeless story reached its inevitable conclusion once again, we couldn't help but sob.
With a kiss.
Number 14, A Spiritual Kiss, Ghost. Ghost is one of those romantic movies that starts with a tragic incident and only gets sadder. At the beginning of the film, Sam is murdered. His girlfriend Molly tries to cope with his devastating loss during the story.
What do you think you're doing to me? Hey, look, if you think I'd come all the way down here for my health, you're out of your mind. Sam's dead, okay? He's dead.
For most of the movie, the ghost of Sam tries desperately to connect to his girlfriend and help her figure out the specifics of his death.
She said Sam knew who killed him.
Yeah.
That he was set up.
This is getting deranged. We're going off the deep end.
She had a name and an address.
Good, Molly. Good.
Willie Lopez, 303 Prospect Place, apartment 4D.
Once the truth finally comes out and justice is served, Molly is able to see her boyfriend's spirit one last time. They share one last kiss goodbye before he goes to the afterlife for good. There wasn't a dry eye left in this life or the next after this devastating moment. Number 13, A Clear Goodbye, Lost in Translation. Throughout Lost in Translation, you're left wondering if a romance will bloom between Bob and Charlotte.
So what are you doing here?
A couple of things. Taking a break from my wife, forgetting my son's birthday, and getting paid $2 million to endorse a whiskey.
While nothing physically intimate happens between the two, they form an emotional connection that's almost more intense than the average relationship. The two are both clearly lonely and need someone. That's why it's almost unbearable when we see that they have to part. After a strange goodbye, Bob sees Charlotte in the street and leaps at the chance to see her one more time. He hugs her, whispers a famous and unintelligible line in her ear, and kisses her one time. The knowledge they parted right after this tender moment had us reaching for the tissues. Number 12, In Another Life, La La Land. Sometimes even the most intense romances just don't work out. But that doesn't mean we can't dream of a happy ever after. Although Mia and Sebastian fall deeply in love with each other during La La Land, their artistic pursuits ultimately take them in very different directions.
It's over.
What is?
It's over.
What?
All of this.
The duo spends years apart before they finally see each other during a performance. After making this brief connection, the two imagine what might have been if they stayed together. The sequence that unfolds is equal parts lovely and unrelentingly sad. Their fantasy ends with an imaginary kiss that can never be. When we see the happiness they could have shared, it's hard not to get choked up. Number 11, a kiss MJ will forget. Spider-Man No Way Home. While Spider-Man No Way Home is full of magic and great action, it also contains a strong romance between Peter and MJ.
You think I'm being too pragmatic?
No. Well, kinda. That's okay. That's one of my favorite things about you.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, what are your other favorite things?
I love your relentless optimism.
Yeah. I am a glass half full kind of gal.
But their sweet relationship gets cut short in a heartbreaking scene. After a spell that was meant to make everyone forget that Peter Parker was Spider-Man backfires, the young hero has to ensure that no one on Earth remembers who he is. That enchantment unfortunately means that MJ can't remember that they were together. Knowing that she'll forget him soon, the two share one last tearful kiss. We're still unsure if they'll ever get romantically involved again. As far as we know, the tragic kiss between this young duo might have been their last. Number 10, Make-A-Wish, The Fault in Our Stars.
The problem, of course, is that there's no way of knowing that your last good day is your last good day.
Hazel Grace couldn't exactly be described as an optimist, but we can't blame her. Her cancer has left her with badly functioning lungs, which she has to deal with while also trying to survive being a teenager. But an unexpected connection with fellow cancer patient Augustus Waters gives her something to be hopeful about. Their bond is so deep, in fact, that he uses his wish to take her to Amsterdam to meet her favourite author. By the time they finally kiss at the Anne Frank house, we don't know if we're crying because of how much they've been through or the fact that she's finally happy. Either way, the tears start streaming, and they just don't stop.
When Hazel was sick, I knew I was dying, but I didn't want to say so.
Number 9, Kiss of Death, Edward Scissorhands.
Well, then why'd you do it?
Because you asked me to.
You probably wouldn't expect an unconventional retelling of Frankenstein's monster to end up on this list. But the kiss shared between Kim and Edward is nothing short of incredibly emotional. The product of a dead inventor, the unfinished Edward is extremely out of place in Kim's world, but that doesn't stop her from falling for him. Unfortunately, by the time she acts on her love, the majority of the town has turned against the unusual boy. Their story can only finish tragically then, and their first kiss ends up being their last.
Goodbye.
That's enough to drive anyone to tears.
I love you.
Number 8, Kiss at the Beach, Moonlight.
You was waiting for me? Well, nice to see you too. What you doing out here, man?
This unforgettably moving story starts during main character Chiron's younger years, as he gets hardened by life, his family, and his environment. There seems a brief hope, however, when he shares a loving moment with his friend Kevin. But the tender scene is quickly replaced by a sad one, as Kevin beats Chiron up shortly afterwards. The stark juxtaposition between these two scenes is heartbreaking.
Stay down!
And looking back, the turmoil to come definitely makes their beach kiss that much more significant. This movie takes you through a range of intense emotions, from hopeful to outright mournful. It's no wonder then it won the Oscar for Best Picture. Number 7, Sacrificial Kiss, The Darkest Minds. The idea of having superpowers may seem great, But the trade-off that 98% of people die of a disease before they get them certainly makes the whole concept less appealing.
Ruby, you are very, very rare. Among the most powerful.
And what's more, in this film, the 2% survivors get locked up. That's what happens to Ruby. But right when it seems things couldn't get any worse, a small light at the end of the tunnel named Liam comes into her life. We start to believe that the duo could be happy together.
Hey, Liam.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But then the carpet is yanked out from under us, as Ruby ultimately wipes all traces of herself from Liam's memory while they kiss. We'd perhaps be less emotional if we knew more movies were coming, but sadly there's no confirmed sequel. Number 6, A Part of Each Other, If Beale Street Could Talk.
The day I realized Fonny was in love with me was strange. It was the day he gave Mama that sculpture.
The chemistry between actors Kiki Lane and Stefan James makes their on-screen love story so believable. But the writing allows you to really immerse yourself in it. Hearing the way Tish talks about Fonny sure hits hard. Theirs is a happy love, but a desperately sad situation. Still, there's so much warmth between the two.
Okay, Fonny. Okay.
And when the pair finally shares a kiss on screen, we can't help but feel like they're truly meant to be. Throughout the years, their love grows and changes, yet it always remains pure and wholesome, which makes their tragic circumstances all the more difficult to accept. Number 5, Final Moments, The Notebook.
I remember now. It was us.
To this day, Noah and Ali are one of the most beloved and well-known couples in romance movie history. And it's not hard to see why.
It wasn't over. Still isn't over.
We watch the endearing pair fall for one another, but we also see how their love stands the test of time. A lifetime and dementia diagnosis later, they're still a perfect match.
What happened to me?
Nothing.
You just went away for a little while.
There's more than one tear-worthy embrace throughout this film, but their final kiss really takes the cake. In the end, Ali remembers Noah, and they're both ready to see just how far their love can take them. Their story is fitting, but the ups and downs take us on a real journey to this point. Number 4, The Engagement, A Walk to Remember.
I might kiss you.
I might be bad at it.
Nicholas Sparks' adaptations are known to make their viewers weep, and this movie is no exception. The popular guy falling for the nerdy girl is a classic trope, so it could feel cliché. But Landon and Jamie have a special story, as her terminal illness puts a time limit on things. Their love goes from being heartwarming and sweet to heartbreakingly tragic.
You're my angel.
Yet despite their doomed fate, the pair make the most of each moment together. Landon proposing to fulfill Jamie's wish of getting married in the same church as her parents is proof of that.
Will you marry me?
The kiss they share in that moment is tender, calm, incredibly bittersweet, and almost too painful to bear.
Jamie and I had a perfect summer together. With more love than lots of people know in a lifetime.
Number 3, Kiss of Appreciation, Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. In a franchise this big, there's always some plot point to keep up with. So by the time Kylo Ren and Rey meet up in this movie, most viewers are already heavily invested in their individual stories and family backgrounds.
And Han Solo, you feel like he's the father you never had. he would have disappointed you.
Get out of my head.
And seeing the Jedi fight Darth Vader's descendant had everyone on the edge of their seats. The last thing you might expect then is for the storyline to end in such a touching manner. But when Ben saves Rey's life at the cost of his own, it's an epic ending, with not a dry eye in the house. Number 2, Reunion Revelation, Brokeback Mountain. It's no secret that many movie love stories end in heartbreak and tragedy. But this one takes the pain to a whole other level. The movie is set in a time where it's dangerous to be openly gay.
I wish I knew how to quit you.
So when cowboys Ennis and Jack fall for one another, they're forced to face a difficult reality. Their love is essentially forbidden, so they both marry women and start families. Despite this, they never stop loving each other. So when Jack shows up at his former flame's home, they can't help but share an intense kiss. Sadly, Ennis's wife Alma sees the embrace, making for a movie moment that's truly stacked with all kinds of emotion.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1, Final Goodbye, Me Before You. The best romances are the ones where the couple make each other better people, and Louisa and Will definitely fit that bill. Will doesn't have much desire to live, while Lou wants to make the most out of every day. As his newly appointed caregiver then, she decides to bring him joy. Of course, they fall for each other in the process. And through the love that they develop, Lou eventually chooses to stand by the decision that Will has made for his life, despite the pain it causes. Their goodbye kiss punctuates an already heart-wrenching storyline, making it impossible to hold back tears.
Don't think of me too often. I don't want you getting sad. Just live well.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.